Hi friends, welcome to the channel Uma's Lectures. Myself Dr. D. Uma Mageshwari, and here I am back with another video on NTA UGC NET 2019 Paper 1 Solve the question and answers. Let's start this video. First question, which of the following learning outcomes are intended in teaching organized at understanding level? Options are given: longer recall and retention of facts, seeking of relationships and patterns among facts, creative construction and critical interpretation of ideas, mastery of facts and information. So the right answer is seeking of relationship and patterns among facts. Next question. Which of the following statements differentiate teaching from learning? Options are given. Teaching is a social act, while learning is a personal act. Teaching implies learning. Teaching is like selling, while learning is like buying. Teaching can occur without learning taking place. In teaching, influence is directed towards learning and learner, while in learning it is usually towards oneself. Have to choose the right answer. Here, the statements A, C, and E can differentiate teaching from learning, but the statements B and D do not differentiate teaching and learning. So, the right answer is option 1, that is A, C, and E. Next question. Which of the following are classroom related factors that influence effectiveness of teaching? Options: prior task related behavior of students, adherence to linear pattern of communication by the teacher, socio-economic status of the family to which learners belong, inappropriate use of technological resources by the teacher, cultural background of students. The following statements A, B, and D are classroom related factors that influence effectiveness of teaching. So these all three statements are related to class environment and student teacher communication, that is prior task related behavior of students, adherence to linear pattern of communication by the teacher, inappropriate use of technological resources by the teacher. Here statements C and E are not classroom related factors that influence effectiveness of teaching. These statements are not related to the classroom and describes the background of the learner and or students. So if you try to discard options with C and E, you will see the only option left is 3, that is A, B and D. So option 3 is the right answer. Next question. In which of the following types of learning materials the presentations are highly structured and individualized? Options: textbooks prescribed by the universities, journals and articles recommended for readings, writings of great thinkers selected for reflective readings, programmed instructional and modular materials. This question talk about the presentation of learning materials in a highly structured and individualized way. Programmed learning or programmed instruction represents one of the effective innovations in the teaching learning process. As a highly individualized and systematic instructional strategy, it has been found quite useful for classroom instruction as well as self-learning or auto instructions. In our country, also, there have been attempts for the use of programmed instructions, especially in providing material to the students of correspondence courses. So, characteristics of programmed learning is: it is a method or teaching of giving or receiving individualized instruction from a variety of sources such as textbooks, teaching machine, and computers with or without the help of teachers. So in this techniques, the instruction material is logically sequenced and broken into suitable small steps or segments of the subject matter called frames. Here, the above two characteristics describes how programmed instructional and modular learning materials are highly structured, that is contain sequence of segments or modules, and individualized learners can refer this material for self-study. So option 4 is the right answer, that is programmed instructional and modular learning. Question number 5. Which of the following types of assessment is conducted periodically with an eye on standards? Options: formative assessment, summative assessment, portfolio assessment, performance assessments. For first one is formative assessment. The formative assessment is thus carried out during a course of instruction for providing continuous feedback to both the teachers and the learners for taking decisions regarding appropriate modifications in the transactional procedures and learning activities. So formative assessment assesses the student's performance during instruction or teaching and usually occurs regularly throughout the instruction process. And summative assessment is carried out at the end of a course or learnings. Examples of summative assessment is include end of units or chapter test, final projects or portfolios, achievements test, standardized test. The periodic means assessment of performance done frequently at the end unit or term. So the continuous and comprehension evaluation periodicity assesses the performance frequently at the end of unit or terms. So this periodic evaluation is summative assessment. So the option 2 is the correct answer. Okay. So question number 6. A university teacher plans to improve the study habits of students in his or her class. Which type of research paradigms will be helpful in this regard? Options: evaluative research paradigm, fundamental research paradigm, applied research paradigm, action research paradigms. So evaluative research means finding out the extent of perceived impact of an intervention. Fundamental research means developing an effective explanation through theory building, and applied research means exploring the possibility of a theory for use in various situations. Action research means improving an existing situation through the use of interventions. From above, you can check the action research is used to improve an existing situation through the use of interventions. So, the right answer is option 4, action research paradigm. Question number 7. A researcher intends to make use of ICT in his or her research. What consideration should weigh most in such a decisions? Options: appropriate of the tool use, cost involved in procuring it, availability of tools in the department where research is to be undertaken, willingness of his or her supervisor to offer help, the company from which the ICT equipment has been procured. So, a researcher intends to make use of ICT in his or her research. The following should weigh most in such a decision. So, option 1 is the right answer, that is appropriate of the tool used, cost involved in procuring it, availability of tools, the department where research is to be undertaken. So, the right answer is option 1. Question number 8. Which of the following sampling procedures will be appropriate for conducting researches with empirico-inductive research paradigm? Options: simple random sampling procedure, systematic sampling procedure, stratified sampling procedure, any of the non-probability sampling procedures. In an empirico-inductive paradigm, researchers collect empirical data from specific cases to generalize its research findings. Empirical research makes use of quantitative and qualitative data gathering methods, which may include surveys, experiments, and methods of observation This helps the researchers to gather empirical data, that is data backed by evidence. So the option 4 is the right answer. Question number 9. In which of the following format chapter scheme of the document has to be formally approved by a research degree committee in the university? So options: thesis or dissertation, seminar papers, research articles, research monographs. Thesis or dissertations formats chapter scheme of the document has to be formally approved by a research degree committee in the university. Examine the research proposal of candidates proposed thesis or dissertation work along with the title of the thesis duly forwarded by the supervisor or co-supervisor and head of the institution or organization where the candidate is pursuing his or her research. So the option 1 is the right answer. Question number 10. A research scholar, while submitting his or her thesis, did not acknowledge in the preface the help and support of the respondent of questionnaire is used. This will be called an instance of. Options: technical lapse, willful negligence, unethical act, lack of respect. A research scholar, while submitting his or her thesis, did not acknowledge in the preface the help and support of the respondent of the questionnaire is used. This will be called as instance of an ethical act. That is, option 3 is the right answer. Question number 11. When there is an animated discussion between a teacher and his or her students in the classroom, it can be classified as horizontal communication, mechanical communication, linear communication, and categorical communication. There is a growing realization that information flow should be horizontal in nature, in sharp contrast to the vertical or top-down approach, which talks about people rather talks with them. This approach draws students into the communication activity in the participatory mode. It involves all the students in the communication process. So proper seating arrangements in the classroom also create conductive learning environments. So studies reveal that students seated in the first few rows across the front of the classroom and those seated at the center of the rooms are the ones who are most likely to participate in the communications with the teachers. So the right answer is horizontal communication. Question number 12. Information overload in a classroom environment by a teacher will lead to. Options: high level participation, semantic precision, effective impression, and delayed feedback. So information overload in a classroom environment by teacher will lead to delayed feedback. So question number 4 is the right answer. Question number 13. A verbal communication technique used in teaching is. Options: slow expression of words, varying the speed of voice and tone, presentation without pause, resorting to semantic jugglery. So vary the tone of your voice. Talking in a monotone voice is boring and students may not focus on what you are saying or the lesson and may even put them to sleep. So voice tone is so basic that it can come into play even when you are not uttering words per se. Even when you simply make a sigh or laugh, your voice tone modifies how it is likely to be interpreted. When you do use words, the tone in which you say them can make all the difference. So voice speed, that is speaking fast, can convey an excited or agitated feel. Speaking slower can convey a steady, reliable feel. Speaking very slow can let someone know that you're either bored or tired. If you ever experienced someone speaking at a speed that is inconcurrent with the content of what they are saying, you know how this can stand out. So the option 2 is the right answer, varying the speed of voice and tone. Question number 14. In which of the following modes of communication can be employed in a classroom for effective teaching? Options: top down, option B iconic, option C associational, disassociational, symbolic and abstract. So the right answer is iconic, associational and symbolic. That is option B, C and E is the right answer. Question number 15. Given below are two statements. That is, one is labeled as assertion and the another one is labeled as reason. So assertion, use of slang in formal teaching makes communication lively and interesting. Reasons, academic decency demands the avoidance of slang in the classroom. In the light above statements, choose the correct options. So the right answer is both the answers, both A and or are true, and or is the correct explanation of A, and both A and or are true and or is not the correct explanation of A. A is true but or is false. A is false and but or is true. So the right answer is option 4. A is false and or is true. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, like and comment and click on bell. Thank you.